Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. This is for episode 6 now. I can't find the name of this episode. Alright, and possible spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. So, I can't find the name of this episode online. Maybe I need to look again. I'm sure I'll find it later, maybe on Amazon, streaming it has it or something. So basically this is what sounds like to me the final episode in Fear the Walking Dead for Althea. Now, I did do a video earlier this season when it was just starting, whether or not Al had been killed in the nuke. The nuclear explosion that went off at the end of season 6, and so it seems that no, that's not the case. We got to see her a couple episodes ago, and now we get to kind of get a spotlight episode with her. And so, spoilers to follow. I think this is her last episode in the series. I think it's kind of confirmed that Maggie Grace, I think is her name, is going to be leaving Fear the Walking Dead. So we're not going to be seeing Althea going forward anymore in the series. This is kind of it for her, which makes it so that both of the survivors that Morgan met when he left the original Walking Dead television series to come to Fear, both John and Althea, are now gone. So that kind of makes me a little bit sad to go ahead and see. And while John got a kind of a surprising, shocking ending for him in Fear the Walking Dead, if you guys remember, sort of a spontaneous, shocking character death that nobody really expected. Althea's is somewhat of the opposite. She actually surprisingly gets to have a happy ending for her in the Walking Dead universe, which is definitely something that is rare, I think we can say. And so I'm definitely happy with the way they kind of played things through in this one. And one of the things I want to say about Fear that I actually like versus the original series is that sometimes they go with kind of a more happy, more positive type of story. So it's not all doom and gloom all the time. That's one of the maybe the knocks for the original Walking Dead series, is that in terms of levity, the Walking Dead TV series, very dark pretty much all the way through. There are some happy parts throughout the show where you just have some fun or happy episodes, but they're quite few and far between. There are not that many of them, and there are not that many survivors that actually get to have a really happy ending. For Althea, we get to see her in this episode searching for Isabelle, I think is her name, from the CRM. And by the end of the episode, we see them reunited. So this one was really happy at the end to see them reunited and to get to see them actually have a nice ending for Walking Dead. I think I read a couple weeks ago that Maggie Grace was leaving Fear the Walking Dead or the Walking Dead universe. So, happy to see this episode that it was in a positive way, and that we're used to everybody who leaves gets killed off in some way, shape, or form. But with this as well, too, it also leaves the door open so that later on it's possible you could see something with her again if you're a fan of Althea or Isabelle, the two of them. Or if they're done for good in the series and we never get to see them again, then that also works too. We can just be happy for them in the way things ended off. So pretty much with this episode going through, you have a couple of soldiers from the CRM that have, they're kind of coming after Morgan and Grace and Al as well. Al is searching for Isabelle. Morgan kind of goes out with Grace to kind of try to find her and find out if she's okay and find out what's going on. It seems that Al wants to keep things as secretive as possible and not tell them where she's going or why. So she leaves kind of without them understanding, and through the episode, Morgan makes several attempts to try to get her to come back to the group, and ultimately, even after a few attempts, realizes that no, it's time for him to let her go, and for her to go off and find Isabelle, which, like I said, that she does at the end of the episode in a very touching scene, which is really great. You get some of the video recording in this one on the camera and whatnot with a couple scenes, and once I started seeing that, I was like, oh man, they're doing this again, right? I was like, maybe it's not such a bad thing that they're letting Althea leave. They're letting her kind of go, because I feel like the camera thing just got, where are they finding all these batteries from? Like, how can you have enough batteries at this point to still be powering this? Maybe they're rechargeable. So I don't know how that would even work. I just don't know. I don't know. So it's what it is. It is a fun episode. I love the way they use the cannon in this one, which is really cool. There's the couple of CRM soldiers that are going after them. You get a little bit of back and forth. There's also a decent scene where the SWAT vehicle is being kind of chased by a helicopter, which is something different for Walking Dead that we don't really get to see very often. And it is also cool to see the CRM in this one, because for World Beyond, even though almost nobody's watching it, that's a CRM series pretty much. So in this one, we're getting a really nice crossover between kind of the community you're seeing in World Beyond with the CRM, and now seeing it in Fear the Walking Dead. So there isn't as much mystery when you see these soldiers. You see Reclamation 1, you see what they're going to do. You intuitively know right away, if you've seen some of World Beyond recently, why they do the things they do. It makes sense, and we get to understand why that is. So some fun kind of action scenes back and forth is not too bad, and ultimately there's a couple really cool cannon kills, but ultimately the final cannon kill where the two CRM soldiers get obliterated by this cannon is pretty freaking wicked, I do have to say. So that's most of what I'll say about this episode. It is a really good episode if you like Althea. Again, with the episodes being sectioned off and focused on certain key characters, what you have is basically, if your viewers like one character, they're going to like that episode if they're the spotlight of it. If they don't, they're probably not going to want to watch it until the following episode or the following week. So I'm going to give Althea's last episode in Fear the Walking Dead 9.1 out of 10. I enjoyed it. The cannon kill was really fun. The CRM is kind of always exciting to see them kind of in and around. They have kind of an ominous type of vibe about them, and also a very serious, straight to business kind of a soldier type of vibe for me. To see them in and around, and to see Morgan kind of fighting with them a little bit and whatnot, that you're kind of in for it whenever they're around, because they just have these practiced protocols down to a T of what they're going to do. They're going to go in, they're going to maximize secrecy, they're going to maximize try to send in cleanup crews and try to get rid of anybody who may have known that they were even there, and lie about having her camera and stuff like this, and it's just what you would kind of come to expect at this point. So that's it for my review for this week's episode. Really good one. If you like Al, and like I said, if you don't, then maybe wait for next week. So that leaves us with 2 episodes left for this half season for Fear the Walking Dead. And World Beyond should also be wrapping up at around that time with its final episodes, so we'll see if those are any good. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.